We also have something called the costocervical trunk. Now, this comes off the posterior wall of subclavian artery right about the same time that internal thoracic artery branches off in that thyrocervical trunk. This has branches that goes to the deep neck muscles and also the superior intercostal space, but we're just going to worry about costocervical trunk for now. Because it comes off the backside of subclavian artery, you may have to push some stuff around to be able to find it. So to get our bearings, let's kind of look at some of the structures we've already learned here. We have thyrocervical trunk right here. There's internal thoracic artery you see as it goes out to the chest plate here. And then we also have the vertebral artery as it's going through those transverse foramen. There's also common carotid artery. So we're looking laterally here. And then we can see costocervical trunk right here as it's coming off the backside of subclavian artery. We also have some nerves we got to learn. So this will be the unit we actually can see the roots of the brachial plexus. And then we can also see this cervical plexus. So just like we saw with the brachial plexus, a network of nerves, the cervical plexus is another network of nerves found in the cervical or neck region. But most importantly, it has one nerve that we are especially interested in called the phrenic nerve. Now, anytime you see that terminology phrenic, you should be thinking diaphragm. And the diaphragm is a muscle we'll see, I believe, in the next chapter. But it's just a muscle underneath the lungs. And this is the nerve that will actually innervate it and tell it when it should be contracting. Now, you've probably experienced hiccups, kind of an uncomfortable feeling. This phrenic nerve can be involved in that, where the brainstem is responsible for the rhythm of your breathing, and this nerve will carry out that rhythm by telling the diaphragm you need to contract at this moment, and so on and so forth. And certain things like, say, tobacco, alcohol, maybe eating too fast, something like that will throw this rhythm off, and this phrenic nerve will contract the diaphragm at different intervals than what it's supposed to be doing. We'll also see something called a vagus nerve. Now, this is cranial nerve number 10, and vagus nerve, where we'll see it currently, is between the common carotid artery and internal jugular vein. So it runs right between the two of them. And also with vagus nerve, we'll see it in the next unit as well when we cover cranial nerves coming off the brain. So again, this is the cervical plexus, but what we're interested in is this little nerve right here coming from the cervical plexus here. That is the phrenic nerve, and you'll see it as it actually innervates the diaphragm itself. And that completes chapter 9.